Hello everyone, welcome. I'm Kissy. Welcome to my channel. I started to prepare for the reading today, and in the middle of processing some information that came through, I kind of got excited to come out here and just share the information. Only because it's like, they say seize the moment. And when you seize the moment, it's basically when the inspiration hits you, that's when you act. You act on the inspired moment. So that can be for anything. If you suddenly woke up inspired to go take a walk or to sit on your porch and look at the sunrise, whatever it is that you may have felt would become an inspired thing to do. If you block that for any reason, if you neglect that for any reason, you lose the flow of that. And it's like I don't know, I heard like a sprout of water. I don't even know what it's called, but it's like imagining like the impulse that it takes to go far, it won't be there. So it's like you kind of like you lose the air or beneath the wings. I don't know. Look, I don't know what the metaphor. I don't know what that means right there. It could be like a some like scratch on the record kind of vibe. Maybe it's like somebody can't get out of a certain pattern of a thing they do, or a thing that they talk about, or a thing that they are focused on. Sometimes, people's habits throughout the day have them to have a certain conversation. And it's like, you could just press play and it'll be the exact same conversation in the exact same way with the exact same energy. That it's like, okay, snap out of the pattern. Like, don't do the habit, whatever that is. Like the habit of calling someone every day just because it's what you've always done, it's what you always do. It's you check in and you check out, whatever it is with whoever. If that becomes like this is just what I do because I do it, it loses its sensation to feel inspired. So what you do is you have to change your pattern. It's not out of neglect or out of abandon or out of rejection. It's out of, let's switch out of this pattern. Let me switch out of this pattern with this individual or with this situation so that I can actually reflect or not even reflect. It's just something has to shift in your own energy. Something needs to shift, whatever that is. So that when you do interact with that energy again, it can either have a spark of inspiration to it or it doesn't. And it's not something that you're doing to change another individual or the situation in itself. It's within yourself. Can you be inspired into this? Some things, like for example, me doing my readings, I've been doing this almost as long as I can remember. This has been part of my life prior to even getting to high school. So it was something like, but it's at different levels of interest, right? So from a novice perspective, everything is inspiring, but you can't really get to it as much because your responsibilities cause you to do something else. So this thing is like, it's just a small spark, but little by little it starts to grow and grow and grow. And then it becomes something that is just part of your everyday. But then it's like, it's based on what you've already learned. It's based on what you've already done. And when you have that moment, whatever that is, that you start to feel like familiar, too comfortable, that it just like, you're no longer in awe of or inspired by or moved by. You don't feel that spark of joy coming out of that dynamic, whatever that dynamic is. So what ends up happening is most people, when they're in their shadows, will blame the other, will make excuses, will fight or argue or debate or they'll be in conflict, or you'll be in conflict with an idea or with a choice or with a decision you've made, or like it could be something as simple as, I bought this car and this car, I love it and it's great, it's practical, it's whatever, whatever you want to say about it. But you're wanting something that when you're in that car, you feel yourself. You feel good about yourself. Because some people can feel themselves, but when they feel themselves, they don't like what they're feeling because it doesn't feel good. And it's like, why doesn't it feel good? Because I'm not content. I'm not happy. I'm not in a place where I feel good. And so you try to like tell them, well, here, try, change the music, change the wardrobe, change the environment, change the conversation, change the places you frequent, change your response to their behavior, change your perspective on your position in this place, change something, anything, consciously. And by doing that, you can actually realize it's not the thing or the person or any of those things. Ultimately, it's your self-perception or your perception of the matter, because you can always choose a better thinking thought. And that sounds like Esther Hicks. You can always choose a better way to feel about this matter. Sometimes the better way to feel about this matter is to walk away without guilt or shame or feeling negative about walking away, because everything has been it's been put on the table. Everything has been expressed. Everything has been said. And it's like, okay, I can't wait for you to understand where I'm coming from. I can't wait for you to want to grow this or revitalize this thing, or see the inspiration in this thing. I think that's more what it is, to see the inspiration of what is there. I'm sorry, you're not inspired by this, you don't see an inspired thing about this, then that's fine, you don't have to. But I prefer to be with a more enthusiastic individual, or I prefer to be with with an individual that is content in my presence, that is at peace in my presence, that feels alive in my presence, that feels progressive, that feels not motivated, because there is a distinction. And I recently heard this, but I also experienced it. Motivated is something external from you, pushing you. So it's like, let's say you're motivated by a trainer. The trainer can train you, and you're motivated to do it because A, you're paying for a trainer. B, you gotta, show this person that I'm gonna keep my word. I'm gonna follow your training, because if I follow your training, you're gonna guarantee a change in my results that I can't do, or I don't know how to do, or I want to do, but I'm not motivated to do. I'm not inspired to do it. So the difference between motivated and inspired is most people will teach you how to be motivated. That means they'll give you an external incentive to chase that carrot to get that goal, instead of helping you understand what inspires you. Why are you inspired to change? Figure that out first. Because when you know why you're inspired to change, then the external thing that you're using to get the results is a matter of efficiency and effectiveness. It's just a matter of, I am inspired to do this. You don't have to, this isn't about you having to hold me accountable. This isn't about you having to make sure I'm going to do it. This isn't about you putting pressure on me for anything to get done what I know needs to be done, what I'm inspired to do, where I am at my best. I know what it requires, and no one has to tell me how to get there. However, if we want the extra oomph of getting things done more effectively, more efficiently, then we may strategically plan out a way of organizing ourselves to get those things done more efficiently. So it's like, oh, okay, so I have been lazy on this project in my backyard. I've been wanting to fix this backyard and make it look a certain way, right? And then you realize every day you're not inspired by the garden you imagined in your backyard, right? You're not inspired because it's not there. So you're avoiding it. You don't want to look at it. You make excuses for it. But then one day it's like, I'm not happy. Well, why am I not happy? Something about my environment feels off. I don't feel like inspired by it like I thought I would be. I wanted to be in my space. And every time I look at my space, I am awe-inspired by my space. Okay, so then you start to realize, oh, well, what would make my space more awe-inspiring? Well, if I have this garden, if I create this garden, I can enjoy this garden because this is a garden that I want to have. So whatever it is, okay, it could be anything, any project in the home. But the point is, then you realize all the limitations to why you can't do the garden as the vision is. But instead of complaining, the journey now becomes more, you're inspired by the journey because you'll eventually get it done, because now you know that every day you're taking baby steps towards it. It doesn't matter how small. Some days it'll be small baby steps, some days it'll be large steps. But you're taking steps towards that end goal, that end vision, that end inspired space, that you're not waiting to be inspired. You're becoming inspired towards that inspired space. You get it? It's like you're getting your own self. It's like, oh, okay, passion. I know the end result of passion. I know how to feel passion. Well, I'm not going, like most people say, from 0 to 100, right? It's like, it doesn't work that way. It's like, sometimes it'll happen, but you don't get there on your own sometimes. Sometimes you know what you're passionate about, but to get to what you're passionate about, you end up making, or you're having blockages or excuses as to going towards that goal for whatever reason. But when you're inspired, it doesn't matter what happens or how it happens or who comes through or whatever. You're still taking those steps towards your goals. You're focused on what you're focused on because you're inspired. You're inspired by your own self-motivation. So you can't, it's not something you can buy out there, because when you get somebody to motivate you, you'll always be dependent. It's like once the trainer trains you and you got that body, you're supposed to have learned how to do it for yourself. You're supposed to have learned why you're doing it for yourself, and you're supposed to understand the system. The trainer was supposed to, or is supposed to, not just give you his routine or plan for you because of his understanding of what he's doing or how he got results and how he can make results for you. You have to understand now what the deeper reasonings are as to how the system works. It's like, okay, the reason we're going to add more weight here and minimize reps here is so that you can enhance these muscles here but lose fat here. Depending on what you're doing, you're going to need to understand why you're doing it, how you're doing it, and then what is the even energetic reason for, like, if you really look deeper into it, it's like, okay, why is the shape of my body the shape that it is? What areas of life have I been too relaxed in, or too restricted in, or very energized in, or very, completely oblivious to? Whatever that is. So, I didn't think it was going to go this far. See? So, by that I mean, like I said, you want to operate in the moment the inspiration comes. So all of a sudden, when my head is fluttered with all these ideas, right? In the moment that I am preparing to do a reading to connect to spirit so that I can come and share the message with the collective, I could just be kind of like, let's call it getting in the mood, getting in the vibe, getting in the space that I need to be in, so that when I'm there or when I'm here, I'm actually present. My mind isn't focused into the future or into the past. My emotional well-being, there is no hang-ups emotionally where I have to like put my energy in focusing on what's wrong with it. Like, there's no fixing anything out of I have to do this thing, so I got to take care of all these things. And then that kind of listless energy goes through the day. It's more of inspired to maintain certain things so that you have the space and freedom to participate in what you really are into. And what you're into, it's like now looking from, like when I said back before high school, where this to me was just almost like a wishful thinking. It was like, I hear that this has magic. I hear that this has, that if I learn this, that we can explore certain parts of our bodies, or, and like tap into other realms, right? Get really far out into all these metaphysical ideas that as a kid felt or feels foreign, different, strange. But as you start to understand the deeper science behind it, the method to the madness, or the correlations that are there with everything, and the when you get to the core of it, elemental state of it, you can really start to understand, okay, these are the earth properties, these are the air elements properties. So it's like you can work with your own emotions. You can work with your water. You can work with your thoughts. You can work with the air. You can work with your body. You can work with the earth. You can work with the fire. You can work with your energy. And it's like we're doing it all the time. Think about when you go for a jog, for a run. It starts off, your mind gets very restricted. Oh my God, how far do I have to go? Oh my God, this, how long is it going to be? Those are all the things that the mind will complain about initially. Or it'll start noticing, why does my knee hurt when I do this? Why does my ankle hurt when I'm doing that? Depending on how you're walking or running, your mind may be focused on all the things going on in the body, because you're being motivated to move the body. And sometimes people are not motivated to move the body, especially when they get very comfortable not moving the body. So as you do that run little by little, when you start to feel the fuel burning, the fire kind of like doing this in your, like you can feel it in your blood, you can start to kind of, and then the breathing, you breathe into the entire body as you're moving, you start to get the rhythm, you start to feel the rhythm of your breath, the rhythm of your heartbeat, the rhythm of your body, the steps as you're moving, ba, 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 whatever that is, right? So as you're kind of like in the zone, everything synchronizes. Your mind is no longer chit-chattering, occupied. Your heart is regulated. It's beating, it's moving, it's flowing. Your breath is balanced, and you're not feeling like your body is going to fall apart. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't feel restrict. You're just kind of like, you're letting your body go on automatic. You're letting it kind of do what it does. Like, you're letting it be a rhythm. And that rhythm gains a certain traction or certain momentum, that even if you're physically tired, it's like the spirit or the consciousness is, as it becomes aware, that it's like you're not attached to the thoughts, you're not attached to the emotions, like you're not in your complaining self, you're not in your, questioning self. You're just like, you're mindlessly detached. It's like, in a good way. It's like you're able to just observe your physicalness being. And when you're observing your physicalness being in the flow of whatever it is, it becomes like a rhythm. So the part of you that observes that can relax, in the sense of there's no need for the controller of ourselves to control. That took me somewhere else. I'm trying to see if I needed to say more on this subject. I don't think so. All right, anywho, we're looking at the Tektite. So, like I say, I like to scroll through the book. And when I'm focused, by not being focused, it's basically trusting the process. And the process is, whatever is going to be will be, right? So there's no, I want it to be this, I need it to be that, or let me focus on, it should be on this, it should be on that. Nothing. It's, what's the message from Spirit? What is it what would serve the greatest good, harming none? What would be the most potent message I can share at this moment, right? So anywho, so I open the book to Tektite. The message says, the attributes. Because of its extraterrestrial origin, Tektite is believed to enhance communication with other worlds and to encourage spiritual growth through absorption and retention of higher knowledge. Interesting. Extraterrestrial, and we're in Aquarius season. So that's the first thing. Enhanced communication. That's definitely Aquarius energy. And it encourages spiritual growth through the absorption and retention of higher knowledge. Absorption and retention, we're in Scorpio moon. So we're absorbing and retaining this higher knowledge on an emotional level. It forms a link between the creative energy and matter. Tektite helps you to release undesirable experiences, remembering lessons learned, and concentrating on those things that are conducive to spiritual growth. It takes you deep into the heart of a matter, promoting insight into the true cause and necessary action. Placed on the chakras, Tektite balances the energy flow and may reverse a chakra that is spinning the wrong way. So a chakra that's spinning the wrong way would be improper use of the energy that's based on past habits. So it's like whatever, let's say you crave a certain thing, so you take a certain action for that craving to be fulfilled. That habit has been created is what causes a certain problem, right? Or a certain experience to not change. So when you're considering, how to bring balance, without trying to control it, things are going to balance back into their own place. And the way that they balance, it's like it might be reversing a craving that leads to an action, that leads to an experience that you don't, want to be in anymore. So you'll start to see it shifting where you lose interest, or when you're no longer paying attention to, or you're no longer driven to act in that or to participate in. So you start veering away towards something different. So So it takes you deep into the heart of a matter, promoting insight into the true cause and the necessary action. So, yeah, you place it on any other chakra. Now remember, if you do this on the intentional level too, you don't necessarily need to get the crystal or the stone. You just, for me personally, I get them just because, I like going to those shops. And you do connect. If you're sensitive, you can connect your energy, and you'll start to see the influence of that energy, how it moves your own energy. So if you're very flighty and very airheaded in some moments or some spaces, and you get a tektite, that might be something that, if you're too airhead, you might not be very grounded in that environment. But if this is a matter of, it helps you to release undesirable experiences, remembering the lessons learned, concentrating on those things that are conducive to spiritual growth, then it will take you deep into the heart of a matter. So it'll actually ground you. This will help you, that you'll get those higher awarenesses, but it's going to bring you deeper into what, and this is how shadow work should, well, let me not say should. This is how shadow work is effective. Anywho, placed on the chakra, tektite balances the energy flow and may reverse a chakra that is spinning the wrong way. So remember, you don't have to know what's right or wrong in terms of, oh my God, what if I'm spinning in the wrong way? It's not like a something you can tangibly see. It's something that you can feel, however. So you can feel when your heart chakra is restricted. You can feel pain in your chest if you're emotionally unbalanced. You can feel your stomach turning if you feel like there's something bothering you. It feels like you don't feel well. Or you can feel yourself tired if your root chakra isn't, active, or if it's going quote unquote the wrong way. It's like it's going to too far extreme in either way. So it's not this way is better than this way. That's what balance is. They're both equally effective, but they have to work together. Both sides, I mean. So you have to work with the positive and energy of each of your chakras, especially when there's an imbalance in one affecting another, bringing an imbalance. It's like both chakras have to, I see like a straight line, and then the chakras on these lines, and they pivot either like this, just like the body, the spine. Okay, when you're walking, if your hip is tilted a certain way, then you're not able to walk. It can cause pains in other areas of your body, or it can cause you to put more pressure on one knee than the other, making one knee weaker and the other one stronger. So all these ways that we have to balance, it starts off in our mind. But in order for us to be able to observe the mind and understand our emotions, we need to be in this space where we're, the creative energy, that we're able to absorb it so that we can get into the matter of it. So, for example, you can do things that people wouldn't consider meditation, like, go play a sport, or go chat it up with your friends, whatever that is. Done excessively, that might be what some would consider a waste of time. You could be doing something better with your time than hanging out with your friends, or then doing something that would be like oh, I'm not being productive, or oh, I'm not working, or oh, I'm having some downtime. Downtime means you're letting go of control. You don't have to think. You could just be. You could just flow. You have to allow your mind to just flow. But some people take that too far, and that comes with habit. So if downtime means hanging out with your friends and staying out late where you don't sleep well, or going out to eat, excessively, or to go out to, party excessively, those things come with consequences, meaning anything in excess can be unhealthy. But also in the reverse, it doesn't mean you don't participate, it doesn't mean you don't do it, doesn't mean you don't consider, and then now, anything I do is going to be physically harmful. Therefore, I do nothing that is physically harmful. I'm not going to engage in any of those things. So therefore, if that's the mindset, you're not applying the energies correctly. You have to be able to participate in either, on both sides of an energy, in order to be truly balanced. Hold that thought. Okay. Placed on the chakras, Tektite balances the energy flow and may reverse the chakra that's spinning the wrong way. Helpful for telepathy and clairvoyance. If Tektite is placed on the third eye, it opens communication with other dimensions. This stone strengthens the biomagnetic sheath around the body. I was pausing on the stone strengthens the biomagnetic sheath around the body, which makes perfect sense, because when you're communicating, when you're considering clairvoyance and you're considering your third eye energy, you're taking in information, but not knowing. It's almost like, oh, I'll go through that door, but you don't really know what's on the other side of that door. You could assume to know, you could think you know, but if you don't know, it could take you by surprise, right? And so the stone strengthening your biomagnetic sheath, I would say that would be, that energy field being protected in order for you to have those communications be beneficial to you, so that you're protected against those energies that you're not prepared for, that don't serve your highest good, so you create a shield over yourself to only be open to going through doors that are to your spiritual growth. Okay? That's how you protect yourself from that. Even if you can't discern for yourself, because you might be overly optimistic and think everybody that you engage with is going to be, a good experience in your life, or at the minimum, not a bad experience. But it turns out this was detrimental to your health. This was detrimental to your growth. This was detrimental to your spiritual experience of life. If it gets to that, you've dealt with a very dark entity or narcissistic energy, that it's impersonal. It's not the individual carrying that entity or the individual in that space. You had no idea that individual may not even know that that's what they carried or had or used. Anyway, whatever. Traditionally, tektites have been worn as talisman for fertility on all levels. The stone balances male-female energies within the personality. Healing. Tektite reduces fevers, aids the capillaries. Is it capillaries? Capillaries. And circulation. Okay. Anywho. It prevents the transmission of diseases. Certain types of tektites have been used for psychic surgery. Perfect. That's exactly what I felt about it. Psychic surgery, that's exactly what it is. It's like, okay. And now consider not so much the crystal itself, but the energy that it carries and how you can embody that energy. You can absorb that energy and say, okay, I activate the tektite within myself. When you activate the tektite within yourself, you consciously program yourself to protect yourself on a subconscious level from absorbing any kind of foreign energies that are not to your spiritual benefit. And that if there is an attachment to something that is an energy, I'm going to give a really good experience, a really good little lesson here that I recently confirmed, I would say. Since my spiritual journey has become public, in other words, it's not just the thing I do behind the scenes, it's not just what I do at home, it's now what I'm sharing, right, with a community. Since I shared it with a community, I opened a door, a portal to a world that allows just any random person that I don't know on a personal level to be on a one-on-one interface with me and have a conversation with me and see me eye to eye. Okay? When you don't know how deep the rabbit hole goes when we connect with souls, when we connect or let me not say when we connect with souls, but when we connect from the soul level, you're absorbing energy that you wouldn't otherwise had access to. So it's like in the real world, if you go to a bad neighborhood, it's obvious to you this isn't safe. But in the spiritual world, if you go into a bad neighborhood, or you're dealing with a certain type of individual, you wouldn't walk into, in the real world, if you're a healthy person, you're not going to go and sit with the crackheads in the corner and spend all your day and time with them. Are you? Because habits become, you know what I mean? Like you attach yourself to certain people's habits. You're like in school, when you're in high school, you're not hanging out with the kids that are skipping class. I mean, you could be, obviously. I was one of those kids too. But what I mean is, if your goals are to stay focused on a goal, like you might be focused on, no, I need to graduate high school so that I can go to college because I want to evolve myself into the next level of reality, of my reality. Like, I'm bored here. I want to go to something different. I'm bored in this thing and I want to move on to something different. In order to go on to something different, something that actually challenges you, something that actually moves you, something that inspires you, something that has you self-motivated to live on a higher frequency, then you're not going to be hanging out with the kids that are skipping, that aren't going nowhere. You're not going to hang out with the hoodlums that are, breaking cars or whatever. You're not doing anything that's going to get you into trouble. You're just going to do your work, pass it, and mind your business and go home. Just like at a job. Sometimes you're not there to be social and friendly with everybody. You're there because this is a part that I got to go through to get to. So you don't get attached. You don't get too attached to a lot of things or people or places when you understand that you're going through things to get to your station, your position, to be in that position that you are at ease, in balance with yourself. And sometimes to be at ease and in balance with yourself, you got to get rid of a lot of old habits, old patterns. It doesn't matter what those patterns were. Any pattern that no longer had spark, any pattern that no longer had inspired movement forward, that was just kind of like, it's like, I don't know, I just saw like a roller skating rink, but it's like, you can only have so much fun going around in those circles for so long, right? It's like, okay, I'm going to go skating. Okay, I'm going to go around in circles. You could do that shit for hours and hours if you want to, and it'll be fun. with people there, without people there, by yourself. Just doing the damn thing just is fun. But after a while, the environment can get old and boring. The music gets tired and old. The environment itself just becomes like... So you're either going to start turning the other way and see if that does anything. Maybe change the scenery within the environment. Maybe go to a different roller skating rink. So it's not that you stop skating. Maybe you stop skating where you're skating. Maybe you stop listening to the same. Maybe you just change the environment. Just change the lighting. Just change the mood. Change. So whatever it is, you change it. You don't have to stop doing a certain thing, but you got to at least explore and try to change your patterns. Sometimes it goes against everything you're used to, or it goes against everything you want to do, or it goes against everything you think is good for you. And you'd be surprised. It might be good for you, whatever that is. Whoever you engage with, whatever you choose to do, wherever you choose to go, whatever path you take, if you're trusting that you're protected and safe and you're present in whatever you're doing step by step, in other words, everything kind of is intentional. When you wake up in the day, you know that you're kind of like taking care of business, and business can be, if you're working on your health, then every day you're doing something for your health. If you're working on your money, every day you're doing something for your money. If you're working on having deeper connections, you're working on the relationships you're in, creating a depth, a more connected relationship. You're not in conflict with the relationships. You're learning to adapt or to elevate your inspired your inspired passions. Anyway, and it hurts. So, we got a message from air. And I think in the previous reading I did, we had a message from air, but we didn't go deep into what that message from air was. So, let's read. I think I read this one also in another reading, but I'll do it again. Ethereal and light, standing on a cloud, this messenger is seen in dreams, perpetuating the endless innocence and purity of birth. She is a fairy that grants wishes and protects creators. She drives her heavenly magic from one hand to the other, closing a wonderful circle of creation. With tinkling and shining stars, her inspiring muse is clearly seen in the halos that fall toward earth in the form of staves with notes of a future melody. This will reach a bohemian musician who will know how to combine them and become a great artist for the joy and enjoyment of many people. The fine crystalline movements do not deprive her of security, courage, and action. The sylphs were part of our childhood in many tales. Fairies were described as having protective streaks, granting wishes, and neutralizing the actions of malefactors. Again with the mama. Mama. Mimi, mama. What did I say before? Meh. Okay, something with M-E. M-M. M-E. M-A. Malefactors. Actions of malefactors. Okay. With a maternal attitude, they always protect good people and compensate for their sorrow and abandonment. They cause us to place our faith and hope in something superior that will help us in times of sorrow and helplessness, as well as giving us a strong conviction that their energy will be present even in their absence. The upright meaning is stick to what you have agreed and do not let yourself down. You have the inspiration and protection necessary to finish your work. creation, project, task, or procedure. Negative things will disappear and your capacity will be seen. Tune up your senses and train yourself more intensively because there will be great prospects for you. Upside down, you have lost faith in your relatives. They are not taken into account in your work. Excessive security that has proved to be inconstant. You have failed to keep up and progress. Get out of your lethargic state. Connect with the environment, following the voice of your conscious and internal impulse. You will see that new energy will arise and that your capacity and talent will be a new bastion. Otherwise, you will remain anonymous. Oh, Lord, the synchronicities. They're beautiful, aren't they? Yes, indeed. Okay. Okay, dokes. All right. So, I want to do animal totems. It's so quiet today. I didn't have my music on. Hold on. All right. So, we're going to do, gosh, do I really want to do for all the signs? No, we're going to do air, earth, fire, and water. Air, earth, fire, and water. Air, earth, fire, and water. I almost spilled my drink. Oh my goodness. All right. Air is the mouse. Earth is the rabbit. Fire is the parrot. And water is the vulture. Air, earth, fire, and water. Okay. The mouse, air. I am very perceptive and discerning in all areas of my life. I am consciously aware of everything that is going on around me. I comprehend the details of everything that is set before me. I am organized. I create a cozy nest in which I live and learn. That's air signs. Aquarius, Gemini. Why did I just go blank? Oh, Libra. Why did I go so blank on Libra? Oh my God. Okay. That was weird. Anywho. The rabbit. Earth. I was going to say Aquarius. Oh my God. I don't know what just happened. It's like Earth to Kissy. Alright. So we have here the rabbit, which is for the earth signs, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. I pause and reflect on the patterns revealed to me. Different perspectives give me insight and understanding. It is easy for me to give birth to ideas. My creative endeavors come to fruition. I find balance with the cycles of life. Perfect. Fire. We have the parrot, and it's Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So I enjoy working and playing with color and crystals. All types of gemstones help me rebalance my energy. I model the habits of successful people to improve my success. It's easy for me to speak up for myself. I shine my light brightly and acknowledge my magnificence. I am brilliant, gorgeous, and fabulous. Fabuloso. I was just cleaning with Fabuloso. Fabulous. Okay, and it's interesting. I took out this crystal today, my rose quartz. So, fire signs are getting, which, remember I was saying how, you can get stuck in patterns, and it's like, I don't want to get stuck in just doing my readings the way I always do my readings. That's good and dandy for my day-to-day kind of thing, but every so often I do want to enjoy my craft, my gifts, my talents with my tools, right? So creatively using all the resources that I have in terms of getting the message across in the way that is more fun for me, or in a way that feels more, enjoyable. So getting to enjoy my crystals, getting to create my environment in a space or in a way that is more inspired for myself, to maintain the motivation, my self-motivation. But anyway, that was a little extra for the fire signs. Vulture for the water signs, Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces. I accept the impermanent nature of life. I am a steward of the earth. It is easy for me to think green. I reduce the amount of waste produced in my household. I reuse and recycle everything that I can. I leave our planet a better place and live better. And in better condition than before I arrived. So for water signs, this gives me the feeling of, feeling like taking accountability for, any excess of amount of waste produced. And by waste, we can also look at it esoterically. It's like, okay, a lot of energy that was put into things that produce nothing but waste. In other words, it's like it's potential energy, but now you got to do something with it. It's like, okay, so all that time wasted, or all that energy used to create this shit, waste, whatever this shit was, clean it up. It's time to clean it up. You have whatever you got, use it. Use it to take care of it. Clean it up. I could go into the other ones, but air signs, comprehending the details of everything that is put before you, being organized. Mercury being in Capricorn. Mercury's in Capricorn. And let's see something here. Okay, never mind. So anywho, that was a little extra for water signs. And I love all the signs. There's no judgment on any signs, because I've fully invested in every single aspect of each sign, studied intricately in my own archetype, in my own self. So believe you me, there's no one sign is better than the other. I mean, every sign has a very unique quality, positive and negative, that we have access to. The powerful ones, the practical ones, the inspired ones. Okie dokie. So we're going to go ahead and see what came up here. We got the IC, the root. That's fourth house energies. Juno, partnership. A home, a partnership. Gemini, this could be you. Cross-pollinate. So you might be planning a family with the home here and the partnership and cross-pollinating. It could be coming together in your partnership in the home to create. Maybe you're planning a baby, a business. Scorpio investigate. So, Palace, think. 8th house mystery. So we're going to go ahead and put these here. So investigate, think, 8th house mystery. Oh, Lord. Lord. So we're being asked to really contemplate something we're investigating that seems a mystery to us. Something that it's like, what is it? What is it? That's like the question you've been asking. What is this thing going on? What is this situation? But you're being asked to think. It's like, it is a mystery to you. I love that image. I don't know. It's powerful. It's like holding your own skull. Okay, let's see what numbers. 38 could be significant. 8, 12, 31, 4, 30, 3, 46, 10, 1. So, Scorpio rules the 8th house. Gemini, so I think. And a partnership at home. These are like the 3 themes. Thinking, your mind right now, Gemini. I mean, you don't have to be a Gemini, but that is a theme. Our minds, using our minds to think right now. Like, let's really think here. Let's think about, and let's investigate. Let's look deeper. We got the moon in Scorpio right now. We're going deep into the 8th house of the mysteries. Like, can we really go deeper into the mysteries of the human psyche? In a way that we can create partnerships that feel at home to us. I feel like I just did a trine kind of thing here. I'm actually doing like the thinker, the thinking man thing. My hand on my chin, like, I don't know. Oh, I just heard like Sherlock Holmes. What does he say? Something, my dear Watson. I don't remember now. Like Dominicans would say, bueno. Bueno. That's like, I don't know. I don't know. So I guess we'll find out. It's mystery for a reason, apparently. So, what can I tell the collective, Spirit? What else is there to tell the collective? What else do we need to know about the current energies? Oh, okay. Spirit wants me to talk about protecting the body from, we did talk about it with the crystal. And if not the physical body, consider your vehicle as well, protecting your vehicle. And not to put that on your mind, like protect your vehicle. No, it's more like try your best to be aware, become aware when you're in your vehicle. Not paranoid, not freaking out, not anxious, not your brain a mile a minute considering everything bad. No, that's what we don't need to be doing. It's just a matter of presence. It's like, you know how like when you're not focused, you just make stupid mistakes. It's just dumb little mistakes. Like an example, the other day I was leaving my parking lot, and I looked both sides. I looked through the rear view. I looked everywhere, and I back up, and I don't know why, but it sounded like I had hit something. It even felt like I braked. I'm like, what in the world? And I look back. There's literally nothing there. There's not a car in sight. There's not I wasn't near the sidewalk. I mean, it was just the strangest thing. I even got out of the car to look. I'm like, this is so weird. Like, I literally heard the sound of backing into. It felt like backing into another car, or it felt like backing into maybe like a street light or something where you can like hear the car hit. But when I pulled up, after I pulled up, I saw there was a cup. I'm like, it couldn't have been the cup getting crushed that made that sound, but that's what it sounded like a little bit of a crush. Oh, a crush. Maybe somebody has a crush. That's on a side note. But anywho, but yeah, and I can speak from experience. I've had that happen in my youth. I was a interesting young character. So, really stupid little mistakes that I would do. And it's like, that costs you though. Little mistakes that cost you. And it may not break your bank, but it causes a little dent here and there. It's an inconvenience. Just these things that it's like, damn it. Now I got to go do this. Now I got to take care of that. Or now I got to go do whatever. And it's little things that cause inconveniences. And it's like, why am I being inconvenienced? I'm being inconvenienced because I'm mindless. When you're like not being mindful, knowing your surroundings or being present, you can create a mindless mistake. So, and it was weird because I was so present, but yet I heard it, and it felt like a shift of timelines. Like, let's say there was a pattern that was being produced that was familiar of a past mistake, but it was so audible. It's like my own body. It's like, when we talked about like the record, the scratch on the record, that's kind of what it felt like. Like going through a timeline, it's like a scratch on the record. So it's like you're not really experiencing the old timeline, but you can still kind of hear the remnants of the old timeline playing out. It's like you might go through a similar experience, but it's on a lighter note. But because the more present you are, the less impact that pattern has on you. Holy macaronis. Get it out there. All right. Chiron, heal. Progressions, journey. Virgo, digest. I just heard, what was that magazine back in the day? Whatever digest? Everybody had one of those. What was that called, that magazine? Is it Digest magazine? Is that, I don't know. Hold on. Lord, now I gotta look it up. It sure is. Digest magazine. Reader's Digest! Readers. That's the only word. Oh my God, readers. Tarot readers. Energy readers. But yeah, Reader's Digest came up for whatever reason. I mean, it was an interesting read when there was nothing else to read around the house. But, Chiron, heal. Progressions, journey, Virgo Digest. So there's a healing taking place as you progress along your journey. You're digesting this information. Or this healing. You're taking in this healing. We got the 28 or 10 or 1, 56, 11 or 2, and number 6. Alrighty. Is there anything else I can add to the message, Spirit? Anything else? I'm not quite sure how long I've been here, but I might just, I don't know if I should just do another reading here and now or do a regular reading later. I think that's what we'll do. I'll leave this reading here for now, and then I'll come and do another reading, partnership reading or something. We'll see. We'll come back. Take care.